同学们，大家好，这是向老师。我们来练习就和才。So hello everyone, welcome back. So this is Unit 2 of the grammatical series on 才 versus 就, conjunctive adverbs, or you can call it the conjunctive particles. Unit 1 is the learn unit, where we use examples to illustrate their forms and functions. In this unit, you will see lots of examples to practice along. So let's begin. So in this section, we'll look at especially time expressions. You know, 就 and 才 contrast and compare with each other as an opposite to each other, especially when they connect a time expression and an action. In a nutshell, 就 expresses the idea of promptness, earlier than expected. Something is done from early on, or the idea of immediately. On the other hand, 就 才 expresses the idea of belatedness, later than expected, the last to come, or long-waited behavior situation. So this slide shows you some examples done by students. So these are very common errors that students might make. Can you take a look at them and spot where the problem is? So the first one goes, 一航空公司减飞机票的价就我买回家的机票. So when the pattern is not correct, the form makes it harder to understand. But the student wants to say, as soon as the airline reduces the price of the flight tickets, I will buy a ticket home. So I'm waiting for the price reduction. But what is the problem? What makes it difficult to comprehend? It's the idea of 一, so as soon as, 就 something something. So this is the pattern, as soon as, and then the consequence. Because English has this as soon as, and then this kind of pattern, you may transfer that English pattern into Mandarin pattern to put the 一 and the 就 in front of each of the utterance. But you know, Chinese is very, very particular about where those connective words go. 就 only occurs before the verb. So you have to know what the verb is. In the second clause, the verb is 买, to buy, 回家的机票, the air tickets going home. So no matter the fact that it's a conjunction, it's connecting the word, it has to come before the verb. So if you have the subject like 我, I, you have to put 就 after 我 before 买. So just make sure you know where the verb is and put 就 before the verb. And 一 as well. 一 means once, as soon as. It also comes before the main verb of the first clause. So what is the main verb? 减, reduce. 减飞机票的价. So the correction would be 航空公司一减飞机票的价，我就买回家的机票. So if you are not from a Chinese family background, you have not heard a lot of Chinese, you learn Chinese as you read it as a foreign language, you have to really try very hard to shake English off and to get the pattern of the Mandarin, write down your habit. So the second example, 星期三我不忙，我可以早就睡觉. So this is actually not so bad. The idea is that Wednesday I'm not busy. I could, if I want, go to bed early. So what is the problem here? The fact is that 早就 together is a pattern that when people see 早就 together, they would think 早就 something something. 了 or 早就, so it has the idea of something happened in the past. But here, if we want to say, I can go to bed early, somehow strangely Chinese would prefer a two-word adjective. So instead of 早, you want to say 很早. 星期三我不忙，我可以很早就睡觉. So I go to bed much earlier than usual. 我可以很早就睡觉. So, in a nutshell, 早就 together as a pattern usually ends with 了, talks about something that took place in the past. If you want to say a time expression connecting with 就 and the to in action, like I would do that earlier than expected, then you would want to use 很早 as a two-syllable word. Would be much easier to understand. So now, how do you put 才 and 就into a sentence, and what the meaning is if you put 才 versus 就? So in case we have this kind of sentence, 他来北京为自己买了房子. So he comes to Beijing and bought a house for himself. So he came to Beijing and bought a house for himself. What if we want to say he bought a house earlier than expected? 他才来北京. He's just been to Beijing 就为自己买了房子. He just came to Beijing and he's already got a house for himself, so he must have brought a lot of money with him. 他才来北京就为自己买了房子. 就 here indicates that 为自己买房子. So for oneself, to buy a house for oneself, this is an action that took place much earlier than expected. And 才 in the first clause doesn't mean a conjunction. It means just. Something only just happened. We talked about 才 can be an adverb to mean something just happened. For example, 他才来北京. He's just been to come to Beijing. Usually want to spend at least several years working before he can afford a house. But this guy 才来北京就为自己买了房子. Did pretty well for himself. Okay, so now let's look at an example where we can do some translation to practice. So what about the sentence here? Don't cross the street when it is red light. You need to wait until it's green light to cross. So the idea is that someone wants to cross a street, and the action of wait until it's green light to cross. 红灯, so don't do that. 不要. 红灯不要过去. 要等到绿灯才过去. So 才过去 makes it clear that the 过去, crossing the street, is something to be withheld. You don't want to do it until something else is done. So wait, and then you do it. Don't do it until green light. Again, 红灯不要过去. 要等到绿灯才过去. 红灯不要过去. 要等到绿灯才过去. So next example is from authentic example sources. This is in a WeChat, Weibo, microblog. It's kind of Chinese version of Twitter. It's called Weibo. And this guy, not clear here, is a celebrity. He's a second language learner of Mandarin. He's from Canada. His name is Da Shan. Well, his handler, his ID is Da Shan, meaning big mountain. And he's very good with Mandarin. He's made a life out of being able to speak Mandarin very fluently, being a celebrity and diplomat. Okay, so he says he went to a northern city in China, and he is reporting with this his new destination. He says, 刚移到大连理工大学. This is 大连 Technology Polytech University. 理工 Polytech 大学 University. 大连, a northern city near the coast. 就雪花满天飞. 雪花 snowflakes. 满天飞 flying all over the sky. 还 even 还抢镜头. So they try to crowd the camera, they try to squeeze in, they try to take the shot. 抢 grab, 镜头 camera shot. 挡住我脸, 挡 to shade, to cover. 住 resultative particle. 我脸 my face. So this guy comes to a northern city, it's snowing, and he tweets about that. He says, I've just come to Dalian Polytech University. It started to snow everywhere, and the snowflakes even cropped the camera and stood in front of me. So the idea of the pattern of as soon as something already happened, so much prompt, so much immediate and earlier than expectation, just very early snowfall. So the pattern goes with 刚一到 just arrived at 就 something something. And 刚一到 something something, 就 something something. So now let's read and translate. This is to practice the fixed expressions, fixed formulaic patterns. I think a lot of us know some of the basic usages of 就. What is very difficult getting to the advanced proficiency level is those chunks, those formulaic patterns. They have a fixed meaning, and only if you practice with them, you don't know how to use them. So that's the idea that they're fixed chunks. So the first one, what does that mean? So I'll read each one, or you can read with me and then look at the English translation. 我的眼泪一下子就下来了。一下子就 so 一下子 means just one moment it's come down. My tears come down right away. My tears came down right then. And all these are authentic examples. People actually say them or use them. And see if you can understand each one of these. 我一会儿就回来。一会儿 just a moment 就回来。我一会儿就回来。I'll be back in a jiffy. 我一会儿就回来。So why in this case 就 doesn't end with 了？我一会儿就回来了。If you're talking about the past, you need to use 了。That would mean I came back just a jiffy. If you are kind of announcing to other people, say, I'll be back, you don't need 了。我一会儿就回来。毕业了，马上就找事儿做，不太容易。毕业了 graduated, 马上就 right away, do it. 找事儿做 find something to do, meaning get a job. 不太容易 it's not so easy. So this sentence goes, it's not easy to find a job right after graduation. So which chunk carries the meaning of right away? 马上就。马上 right away, 就 marks the idea of being very prompt, immediate action. Number 4, 等一会儿他们就来。等 wait 一会儿 a little bit. 他们 they 就来 will come. So this is a typical expression when someone came to your house looking for someone and this person is not in. You can say, oh, just wait a bit, they'll be here soon. 等一会儿他们就来 Number 4. 等一会儿他们就来。就 together with 等一会儿 marks that this is the time, this is the action of them coming, and they're very closely connected. It's going to be very soon. So number 5, the idea is that I'll be moving soon. 我马上就搬家了。我马上就搬家。So le here is not necessary. You can have it or you don't. But the example we have the le here is to announce people that this is a change of state. It's already done with. I already made my decision. 我马上就搬家了。马上就 do something as soon, very soon. Number 6. So this example is about someone, a millionaire in China, talks about how he accumulated his fortune. So idea is that money comes to him very, very quickly. But 1个亿 $100 million 很快就到了。很快就 very, very soon. That goal was reached. 1个亿很快就到了。10亿Then a billion 也到，100亿也到了 and then 10 billion. So money is accumulated very fast. 很快就 becomes a pattern to talk about something very fast is happening. So number 7 is an example about 刚 something something 就 刚 the same as 才 can be adverbs of time indicating something just beginning to happen. So here it goes. 刚认识不久，不久 not long. 认识 know each other. So just know each other not very long. 就想 just want to 约她出去玩 ask her out. So the idea is that I just know him not very long and I'm already wishing to ask her out. 刚 something something, a time expression. 就 something something, the action. That's closely connected to the time expression, something much, much earlier than expected. So all these in red in these sentences are to show you that chunks, fixed expressions are very important, formulaic. Because they're formulaic, you have to use them as they are. So it's important to remember them as chunks instead of as random occurrences. So now let's practice some translation again. So this is from Yao Ming's autobiography. So it says, that night, because I was too excited, I couldn't fall asleep. I didn't fall asleep until it was almost break of dawn. So it's an exciting night and didn't go to sleep until very late and then didn't wake up. Didn't fall asleep until it's very late. Although in English, you have all the subject pronouns like I in every utterance, every clause, you know that in Mandarin, it's not the good practice. Mandarin allows so-called empty subject. So if the subject is understood, such as I, the speaker, you don't have to keep using it. You can just drop it. Just use the verb. It will make your sentences more coherent, sound better. So how do you say that night, because I was too excited, I couldn't fall asleep. That night, 那天晚上，因为 because 太兴奋了。Of course, we know it's you who are excited, so you don't have to use I 我。那天晚上因为太兴奋了 too excited. 我有些失眠 I'm a little bit 失眠 means losing sleep as a condition, insomnia. 我有些失眠 失眠 is a word for losing sleep. 直到 until 天快亮时天 sky 快 ready to 亮 break dawn bright up 时 time 才睡着 only until then did I go to bed 睡着 to fall asleep. So, 那天晚上因为太兴奋了我有些失眠直到天快亮时才睡着. So the red words are the pattern 直到 until something something 才 something something. It marks the part after 才 as the action that's withheld, that's belated, that's delayed, later than expected. So didn't, you can translate this as didn't something something until. So I didn't go to bed until it's dawn. Again, in terms of, thinking in your head of English and then trying to speak in Chinese, one very important trick is to know that you don't have to use a subject pronoun if the subject is the same person. So here in this translation, 太兴奋了, one action, there's no subject because we know it's I. 我有些失眠, first time mentioning the subject. 直到天快亮时才睡着. So who sleeps? I sleeps, of course, but you don't need to mention that. This is how the so-called empty subject works in Chinese. It creates a lot of cohesion, makes it comfortable to read. So let's continue to review fixed patterns because fixed patterns are very important for 就 and 才. There's so many of them. The first one, 刚刚就. So something just happened and it's already this. Very prompt, earlier than expected. He's only just come and now he's leaving. How do you say something like that? 他刚刚来就要走。他刚刚来就要走。他刚刚来就走了。Second, 还没有就 so something hasn't already happened and then something else is already happening. So what about he left without even eating dinner? 他还没有吃晚饭就走了。他还没有吃晚饭就走了。Number 3, 早就 something as early as. I've known it since a long time ago. I've known it all along. 我早就知道了。我早就知道了。我很早就。I came to the US a long time ago. 我很早就来美国了。我很早就来美国了。Number 5. 从小就。从小就。So something as early as when I was little. How about I've been cooking for myself since I was little. 我从小就自己做饭。自己 as subject, 做饭 as verb. 我从小就自己做饭。Been cooking for myself ever since as a child. 本来就，本来 means originally, basically. So how do you say, I've always disliked eating meat? So if you're a vegetarian, it's not by choice. You just really didn't like meat to begin with. 我本来就不喜欢吃肉。我本来就不喜欢吃肉。Okay, so this goes like this. 他刚刚来就要走。他刚刚来就要走。他还没有吃饭就走了。他还没有吃饭就走了。Number 3. 我早就知道了。我早就知道了。Number 4. 我很早就来美国了。我很早就来美国了。Number 5. 我从小就自己做饭。我从小就自己做饭。Number 6. 我本来就不喜欢吃肉。我本来就不喜欢吃肉。Okay, so let's stop for now. It's been a lot of work. So I hope that you find this useful. Now we're going to look at fixed patterns with Jill when we come back. 好的，谢谢大家。我们休息一下，一会儿再见。再见。